Right now, beneath your feet, gravity is quietly doing 1,000 jobs for you. It holds your feet down, keeps coffee in the cup, and stops you drifting into the ceiling. 400 kilometers above your head, none of that is true. Up on the space station, your coffee floats, your hair stands on end, and nothing stays put. And every few years, the same blunt question lands in a NASA press conference. Has anyone ever had sex in space? The official answer is short. No, it has never happened. Russian space officials say the same. No verified case ever in the history of spaceflight. Now, people assume that's just politeness. It isn't. Because in orbit, the act isn't really banned by a rule. It's blocked by physics itself. By the end, you'll understand why something that sounds simple becomes almost impossible the moment gravity disappears. This is a clean scientific look at one of the strangest problems no one likes to talk about. Start with a rule that runs everything up there. Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. You meet this law the moment you watch a rocket launch. Hot gas blasts down. The rocket is shoved up. On Earth, you never notice it on yourself because the ground absorbs every push you make. Push a wall while standing, and the floor and gravity hold you in place. Now take the floor away, take gravity away, and try the exact same push. The wall doesn't move. You do. You shoot backward across the module. Every astronaut learns this in the first hour. The smallest motion sends you flying. Now imagine two people floating, trying to stay pressed together. Every push one makes against the other pushes them both apart. Equal and opposite, every single time. Without something to anchor against, they simply bounce off and float away. There is no friction, no floor, no gravity to hold anyone steady, just open air and motion. Engineers describe it plainly. In microgravity, two bodies in contact cancel each other's movements. It sounds like a joke. It's just the same law that launches the rockets. And the physics is only the beginning. Your own body works against you too. On Earth, gravity constantly pulls your blood down toward your feet. Your whole circulation evolved with that pull in mind. Every valve and vessel built for a body that stands up. Your heart and blood vessels spend all day fighting to push it back up. Take gravity away, and that balance breaks instantly. About 2 liters of fluid shift up from your legs into your chest and head. That's 2 big bottles of soda worth of fluid suddenly relocating to the top half of your body. This is why astronauts get thin bird legs and round puffy faces within hours. But the deeper effect is invisible. Your body thinks it has too much blood up top, so it quietly throws away 10 to 15% of your blood volume, lower pressure. And here's the part that matters for tonight's topic. With blood pulled up toward the head, getting aroused is physically harder for both men and women. Doctors describe it gently. Microgravity sends the blood the wrong way for that kind of intimacy. Add a racing heart, a stuffy, puffed-up head, and constant mild congestion. Romance is not the body's priority up there, so physics pushes you apart, and biology turns you off. There's a third problem, and it's the simplest of all. Now the third wall, the most human one. There is almost no privacy on a space station. The whole place is roughly the size of a 6-bedroom house, but every wall is covered in equipment and cables. There are no real doors, no soundproof rooms, just open hatches between modules. Up to 7 people share that space around the clock for months. Each crew member gets one tiny sleep cabin, about the size of a phone booth. It fits a sleeping bag, a laptop, and little else. The walls are thin padding, not soundproof. Cameras and microphones run through most of the station for safety and science. Mission Control can see and hear an enormous amount of daily life on board. Now try to find a quiet, unseen, unmonitored moment in there. There basically isn't one. And these aren't random people. They're some of the most disciplined professionals alive. All ISS crews sign a formal code of conduct, agreed by every partner country since the year 2000. It sets standards for behavior, a clear chain of command, and professionalism on board. These are people chosen from thousands precisely because they follow the rules under pressure. They are working, not vacationing. Their days are scheduled almost to the minute by Mission Control, with little unplanned time. There is one famous case people always bring up, so let's deal with it honestly. In 1992, 2 astronauts named Mark Lee and Jan Davis flew on Space Shuttle Endeavour. They were married, and they were the first, and so far the only, married couple to fly together in space. They met during training and quietly fell in love while preparing for the same mission. Here's the catch. They married secretly during training and only told NASA after the wedding. By then it was too late to retrain a replacement, so the flight went ahead. But this is the important part. There were 5 other crew members aboard and almost zero privacy. When a reporter asked Davis directly about intimacy on the flight, she flatly denied it was possible, and NASA quietly turned its unwritten rule into a written one. Married astronauts no longer fly together, so the one couple who could have, by every account, did not. The story is real. The rumor is not. Quick myth check, because the internet loves this one. You may have heard NASA designed a special zero-gravity suit for couples, a so-called two-suit. Here's the truth. It was invented in 2006 by a writer named Vanna Bonta, not by NASA. A television show built a prototype and filmed it. All the couple did on camera was kiss while wearing it. NASA never made it, never tested it, never adopted it. This is an internet myth, not an official program. So whenever you see a confident claim about space romance, ask one question. Did the space agency actually confirm it? Most of the time, the honest answer is no. And separating fact from rumor is exactly what real science is. If you like having the myths quietly taken apart like this, that's what this whole channel does. Stick around. Now we reach the part that scientists actually worry about. And it has nothing to do with awkwardness. It's radiation. Out beyond Earth's protective blanket, space is full of high-speed particles. These are cosmic rays, fragments of exploded stars, racing through the galaxy at nearly the speed of light. On the ground, the atmosphere and Earth's magnetic field shield you from almost all of it. In orbit, that protection is much thinner. Astronauts soak up far more radiation every day than we ever do. Reproductive cells stored on the station got a daily dose roughly 100 times stronger than on the ground. For a grown adult, the body repairs most of that damage over time, but a brand new embryo is the most fragile thing biology ever makes. In its first days, it is just a handful of cells, each one absolutely critical. If a single cosmic ray strikes one of those few cells, the whole embryo can fail. Scientists put this bluntly. The chance of such an embryo surviving deep space radiation is probably very low. There is even a haunting concern. A girl conceived in deep space might be born unable to have children of her own. Studies in animals showed even low doses of this radiation can destroy a developing female's future egg cells, because radiation can damage her future egg cells before she is even born. Let that sink in. It sounds like science fiction, but it's a documented research concern. Conception in space isn't romantic, it's a radiation hazard. Now some of you are thinking, but we've grown things in space before. That's true, and the story is fascinating. We have never studied human reproduction in orbit, but for decades we have studied animals. From the 1960s on, scientists sent frogs, fish, quail eggs, newts, and geckos up to see what would happen. The goal was simple but huge. Can a living thing be conceived, grow, and be born away from Earth at all? Some results were hopeful. Small fish called medaka actually mated and produced healthy young in space. They are still the only vertebrates known to complete a full life cycle in orbit. On the Mir station in 1990, quail eggs were successfully incubated and even hatched. But there were warning signs. The biggest danger was always in the earliest stage of development. On Mir, scientists noticed the quail embryos that died mostly in those first fragile days. Frogs and newts fertilized in space, but their embryos often grew with abnormalities. The pattern was clear. Early life is when weightlessness and radiation do the most harm. And then after 2005, this kind of reproduction research quietly faded out. So a real question for you. Should we run these experiments again before we send humans to Mars? Tell me in the comments. Let's make all of this real for a moment. Picture yourself up there. It is 9 in the evening, station time. The crew is winding down from a 12-hour workday. First, there is no soft bed, no couch, no comfortable corner to settle into. Every surface is a hard panel, a sharp handrail, or a delicate science rack worth a fortune. Reach for someone, and the moment you touch, you both start drifting apart. To stay together at all, you would need straps, anchors, or someone holding the wall. Meanwhile, your blood is up in your head, your face is puffy, and your nose is blocked. Loose fluids don't fall. Sweat and any other liquid would form floating blobs that drift through the cabin. Anything that gets loose has to be chased down and wiped up, or it floats into equipment. And the whole time you are sharing a flying house with 5 colleagues and a wall of cameras. Add it up. The physics fights you, the biology fights you, the privacy fights you, the radiation makes any result dangerous. It isn't a story about a forbidden rule. It's a story about an environment that simply wasn't built for it. Here's the part that turns this from a curiosity into a serious question. If we ever want to truly live in space, settle the moon, reach Mars, then one day a baby will have to be made and born off Earth, and right now we have almost no idea how to do that safely. Scientists are openly urging space agencies to start studying this properly before deep space missions, not after. Because a mission to Mars takes months each way with no shielding from that constant radiation. A crew that far out can't turn back and can't pop home for a hospital. They'd be on their own. Engineers are sketching ideas, spinning ships that fake gravity, heavily shielded private rooms, storing reproductive cells safely on the ground. A spinning ship could press you gently outward, recreating something like the weight you feel right now. None of it is solved. All of it is just blueprints and warnings for now. So the next time someone jokes about romance in orbit, you'll know the real answer is far stranger than the joke. It isn't a punchline. It's one of the hardest unsolved problems standing between us and truly living among the stars. So why does NASA always say it never happened in space? Not mainly because of a rule on paper, because 4 different forces all push in the same direction. Newton's law turns every touch into a push apart. Each one of those 4 would be a hard problem on its own. Together they shut the door completely. Your own blood abandons the lower body for your head. There is nowhere private, on a station watched by cameras and shared by a crew, and radiation would make any new life dangerously fragile. Tonight, back on Earth, gravity will hold you to your chair without a single strap. Your blood will sit where it belongs. The room will be quiet and yours, and the sky above your roof will shield you for free. None of it will cost you a thought. That is the quiet miracle of being born on the right planet. Up there, everything that feels effortless down here becomes an engineering problem with no easy answer. We left Earth to explore the universe. We're only just realizing how much of being human we'd have to reinvent to stay out there. Next time, whether the human heart even works the same way in zero gravity. Until then, look up. There's far more out there than we've figured out.